I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted that I was asked by Jimmy Mistry to head the committee for culture and tradition. So, and Jimmy asked me just last night that he said, can you give, he said, there are so many things that are known about various aspects of design, but can you tell a group of entrepreneurs, and I believe that that is the majority of the audience here, he said, can you tell them that how is it that, how to select an architect or a designer? So, well, at my venerable age, I've been working for 50 years, so which is this year, so I thought, why not? So this is very short, very brief, and before one begins, I want to apologize that the images that I'm going to show are from our own studios, because there was no way of accessing anybody else's, and that in itself took me quite a while, because to find images from thousands of images, the ones I wanted is like being on an archaeological dig. At least that is what my studio is all about. So I think that when a person decides to do a home, it's a very aspirational thing, because it's also the culmination of many dreams. So I think first, everybody should do their due diligence, do their homework, look at various their portfolios, go into their websites, and then, assess that does this architect or designer have a good reputation, and does their work have good reviews? So that is one of the things. And of course, there's nothing more important than having a personal testimonial of somebody that you know, who says that, look, why don't you go with this architect or this designer? Because this is what they produce for me. So that is one of the things. And the second thing is that you should know that, is that architect or designer that you are considering, do they communicate well? Will they be able to articulate clearly and enunciate clearly what are going to be the design concepts of what they're proposing? Three is that, is the architect stroke designer going to be attentive to the needs and aspirations of that client? I mean, that can be assessed with personal interactions, personal meetings, and then they normally ask, are the images that are available of that architect stroke designer's work? I'm not going to say architect stroke designer, I'm just going to say architect's work. So is that available? And most architects have it. And one of the things I'm going to show to you is that clients tend to look a lot at magazines that have come out, stories of their work, their projects, because all prestigious magazines, say like Architectural Digest or Elle Decor or Inside Outside, which has the deepest kind of thrust into the market, they are not going to publish something because they like you. They're going to publish something because they believe in what you have produced. So apart from images and the personal interaction, I think it's also very important that one should see whether that architect, assess rather, whether that architect is creative, is resourceful, is technologically savvy, are they able to deal with construction sites and how well they're able to deal with that? Because these are design, you must understand, is also a business. You all are entrepreneurs and you all are in a business, so is design a business. Of course, it's a business which also has, that business cannot exist unless there is deep creativity. So I'm going to just show you a few slides to illustrate what I've been saying. And I've already apologized because these are images from my own studio. I have no access to anything else. So this is, as I said, magazines and prestigious magazines like Architectural Digest, when they're doing cover stories, in a sense that also becomes based on the reputation of that architect or designer. So Inside Outside, which as I told you is the most read design magazine in India, and various other magazines like Architect and Interiors India, Elle Decor, etc. And sometimes you are in overseas magazines, that's from the Royal Overseas League in London. And then, the younger lot, the next generation is also in our case. Then a potential client should also watch interviews. I mean, these are all on the net, and I'm surprised the amount of material that there is sometimes out. Sometimes I get a deep shock, I'm looking for something and suddenly I come across which even I had forgotten that I had done. For instance, that is a 20-year-old interview with Karan Thapar for BBC Face to Face. And then there are more recent things that I've done. The one on the right, which came up maybe a month ago, and within 48 hours, it had 2.5 lakh viewers. I mean, that is the thrust of the internet today. So I really do hope that DLC will similarly have that same thrust, and maybe this is just 2.5 lakhs. They will have 2.5 million. I'm sure we are going to reach that very soon. And now, a potential client, I think it's very important to also try and visit exhibitions. One of the best exhibitions annually that takes place is India Design by the Organ Group. And these are our stalls. This is our stall. And the thing is that every year it changes. The same space, we change it completely. We present new concepts. We present our new collection of furniture. I think these are pointers that clients get as to what really an architects, designers, furniture manufacturers, which we are, is worth. So I'll just take you quickly through these images, and then, and what is the range of their projects? Is it just domestic? Is it also public buildings? Like you see here, we did the Parliament building in Bhutan, and buildings closer to home, Hyderabad House, hotels on the Nile, luxury boats on the Nile, and that range, and then residential architecture. I mean, what is happening in smaller projects, and what that architect or designer, I'm speaking in the third person, is capable of doing for larger projects. In this case, of course, as that particular architect told me that I had the most difficult client. In this case, the architect was my daughter and I was the client. So I've earned that reputation after we did this. And so that's one aspect of it. And then my company is called K2 India. Then, of course, how wide is the range of where all the architect is working? I'm just going to show you these images of work that has already been published, because the 6 new projects that need to be published and will be coming up for publication, we can't share on open forums. But of course, when clients come to, say, our studio or to anybody's studio, they will be able to share that with the particular client, but within their studios. So this is a very large 26,000 square foot house in Baroda with the living room and the dining room. And this is a very small cottage in the country. So I think clients need to know the range of what is happening. And this is then, does the client only do homes? I mean, does the designer only do homes, or do they also do apartments? So a client can come in and see a range, really a range of what is happening. And this is a apartment in Catriona, which is in Gurugram, and Magnolia is another apartment. So that is it, and I think that's all my 10-minute mini masterclass of how to choose an architect or an interior designer. Thank you.